taking a look.
Okay. It's a grizzly bear sow lactating.
Grizzly bear sow lactating.
Okay, what does that tell you as a team?
We have some cubs around.
We got cubs around. The threat's still at large. We have a dangerous situation potentially still. My name is Kevin Van Dam. I am an inspector with the British Columbia Conservation Officer Service. We're here today in Oregon, beautiful Sunriver Resort, and we are on day 3 of our predator attack training, which is commonly referred to as our wildlife human attack response team training.
Everywhere you're looking, right? But it needs to be somewhat in your zone.
The BCCOS has developed an expertise in dealing with a lot of the large carnivores such as bears, grizzly bears, black bears, and cougars, and to a smaller degree coyotes and wolves, especially when they're in conflict with the public. And our number one mandate is public safety, so it's really allowed us to hone our skills with our abundant populations to be the leaders in North America when it comes to investigating the extremely rare but serious and emotionally charged incidences that happen at times with the public when they're interacting or when they're attacked or mauled by one of these large carnivores. We've, over the last 18 years, we've shared our plan and we've enhanced our plan over those years with our North American jurisdictional partners in both Canada and the United States. And coming together, this is actually the 9th training session that we've done with respect to this type of serious, rare event.
So I work with Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife. My name is Mark Vargas. I'm the Acting Deputy Administrator for Wildlife Division. So our agency selected a series of staff that we thought would be good participants in this. One who can contribute, up and coming staff within the agency. They can carry this training forward and help us develop our own training based on all the skills that they've learned through this training. And do it, if we can, annually. We got to keep fresh with this kind of stuff. These types of attacks are almost non-existent, but you gotta be trained when they do happen, and that's why we're going to use the information that we all have learned from this 5-day training course and modify our human attack contingency plan.
So yeah, within the 5-day training, really what we're doing is we're starting the week with some foundational things, and then by the end of the week we're trying to practice each part of the skills required to do a full investigation all the way through to the end of the week, where we actually bring it all together in a full day scenario. So on day 1, for example, it's Day of the Bear. We start out with some policy stuff and explaining our plan with instant command system, and we really focus on explaining why we do what we do with the partners that are with us. We talk a lot about partnership and communication because that's really important in this entire investigation, because there's so many different agencies and organizations involved. I don't want to put a bunch of bait right in front of either side because I don't want him eating. I want him... On day 2, it's Day of the Cougar. And really what we do on that day is we kind of immerse all of our students in breakouts where we're going out in the field and we're looking at how, blood, for example, is deposited on the ground through a blood pattern stain analysis exercise. That's followed up with a scene investigation where we kind of immerse every team into, a short little situation where there's an attack scene and it led right to, where someone may be found. And so documenting and photographing all of that evidence successfully. On the 3rd day, it's Day of the Dog or our canid, wild canids, the coyote and the wolf. And really that day is kind of a wrap up of all the things that we've learned, but there's some really big pieces to that day. One is we spend the morning talking about capture techniques, and we'll demonstrate and show the different jurisdictions the strategies that we use. In the afternoon, it's a large, there's 2 big breakouts where we have, we'll have 20 stations set out with animal evidence, and participants and teams are going to go through and they're going to have to identify the tracks and measure them correctly and identify what they are. And then they're going to have to link all of that to, a victim, which is going to be in the next room. And when I say victim, we have these mocked up mannequins that we've mocked up that are from actual incidences that have happened throughout North America with the same injuries or markings on them that were found after the incident occurred, and so that linkage will happen. That will really prepare the teams for day 4, which is a full day of scenario where they start actually the night of the 3rd with that terrible phone call that we hope we never receive as an officer or an official, where somebody's been hurt or there's somebody missing and potentially wildlife is involved. That allows the team to sort of prepare themselves, start to build their plan, and in the morning the teams will go to the National Forest where there will be a scenario set up for each of the 15 teams, and that will allow the teams to sort of move through to make sure they move correctly through the forest in a safe manner, so they protect themselves, they're protecting the public, and they're communicating as we've directed throughout the week. That will lead them right into a potential victim, and then they'll have to sort of wrap up with all of the different jurisdictions that are involved, with the medical examiner and the various policing organizations involved. And that's really the full day on Thursday. Friday morning, it's to simulate an autopsy, and so our teams will go in and they'll have to examine the victims and do all the linkage from the any animals that they were involved with the day before, and they'll have to link all of that evidence to ensure that we have or we're able to be successful in getting the offending animal, because really that's what it's about. These are tragic events, they're rare events, and we really just want the teams to be successful. We want the communities to be safe, and if there is an offending animal out there, we're just really targeting that animal, and that's done through many forensic strategies, DNA analysis and linkage through teeth and claw marks and those types of things. So really that's the full week of our training, and it really just allows each of these organizations who've had the good fortune to show up this week in Oregon and to share their experiences and be involved in this training. And the hope is that they all go back home with a better plan and a little better training to allow them to be successful if one of these rare incidences ever occur.